Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Boss Shots with your hosts DNA. That is Dirk and Antoine.
Great day, great day. Another football Sunday. Another football Sunday.
That is correct. Kill you every time, don't it? So, what are your thoughts and reactions to week 8? I'm sorry, to the second show that we did.
As far as I felt great, I felt it was a lot more of a smooth transition. It wasn't as tight as the original show, and definitely got some great feedback from the second episode as well. As
So,
far as viewers, what about you?
um, it sucked personally. I think we need to work on our delivery. Nah, I thought it was a pretty good job. I think each week that you do it, and the more you do it, it gets better and better, and it gets easier and easier. So personally, I think it was a pretty good show. Um, oh, I thought you were about to add something. Yeah. So
I
wait.
was going to say something, but
Oh, go ahead. Get off your chest.
now I think it's a good thing that we always come back and correct something we said that was a mistake. And this was from the first episode. And I made sure that I wanted to correct something I said about my nephews when we was trying to figure out how they became Carolina Panther fans.
Uh huh.
Both of us said Cam Newton. So they corrected me and said, no. They were fans day one, going back to what's the receiver, Muhammad Sanu?
Musa Muhammad
Muhammad, yeah, Musim Muhammad.
and Jake
Yes,
DeLong.
they go all the way back to that, like Jake Delhomme and all that.
Okay. Well, shoot, that's back when like early 2000s, was it?
Yeah, way before Cam.
Okay, cool. Staying corrected.
Stand corrected.
Sorry, nephews. We apologize. We didn't mean to make that mistake. We human. It's gonna happen. All right. So let's get a quick recap of week 8. So based upon what you saw from week 8, um, are there clear teams above the rest of the NFL? Meaning that are these teams that much better than the rest of the teams in the NFL? Is there a specific team you think so?
No, and the reason why is I think that, and it's an old cliche that the NFL season is literally week to week.
True statement.
You really, I see some wins and losses that are truly befuddling, like Cleveland beating Ravens
Yeah, that one had me.
with 30 for 30 Jameis Winston, and I don't mean the ESPN show. The guy had 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. I mean, he got so many nicknames: 30 for 30, Crab Leg Wilson, Winston, whatever his last name is. But like that again, going back to your question, yeah, it's too much. It's almost like it's a roller coaster every single week. And you really can't look at the schedule and pick out a guaranteed win. I don't think so. Not yet.
Yes, you can. If you pick any team going against the Carolina Panthers, automatic win. Boom.
And you know what? Let me add that. Any team that Kansas City is playing, because they
No,
haven't lost.
no. We had them on the ropes. No,
You had them on the ropes, and then they dodged the punch. It came back with a haymaker.
no, lights out. No, I do agree with you. I do think it's a week to week league, as a cliche always goes. Because I don't think nobody would have picked the Cleveland Browns to beat the Baltimore Ravens last week. That was a shocker, and also, which is weird, but every single year it seems to me that the Raiders and the Chiefs play a close game, and I can't understand it for the life of me why that game is always close. But we do got to get to the quote unquote elephant in the room about how these Commanders went on a Hail Mary play. I think that needs to be addressed right now, sir.
I'm glad you said that. I keep looking at the chat because I know last show was a lot of Bear fans popping up out of nowhere. I don't see any of them.
Oh, He probably still asleep.
It was more than one though.
Oh, I can't speak for the other one. I know Sean for a fact was probably still asleep.
Okay. I
They,
give him a pass.
so it's like 9 o'clock there.
You know what's crazy? I kept waffling back and forth. Was I going to attend the game? And the only reason I didn't, someone I knew was celebrating his 55th birthday at Famous Lounge, so it was actually a watch party there.
Okay.
But if I would have been there live, I would probably still be there running around. That was simply amazing, awesome. And I think Kevin Sheehan even said, host of 980, that has never happened in our history. To win on the last second Hail Mary like that in 90 plus years of football.
So can we call that the play of the year so far?
Yeah. To win a game, absolutely. From a rookie?
From a rookie.
Oh, also the elephant in the room. So the cornerback, his name escapes me.
Get him. Get him.
If he didn't, this is what I want, which we'll never know. I wonder if, because I would have went in on him, but when I seen he took accountability, I would just leave it alone. And actually, I got an alert this morning that he's been benched. Yeah. But he took accountability, but what he did was absolutely moronic. Absolutely moronic. And I had a pleasure listen to one of the other shows, and one of the fans that he was talking to called into the show and described what happened. Like he was literally, I can't say what he was saying to the fan. He was basically telling us the game is over. Y'all go to freak home. It's over. And while he's talking, the play is developing. So someone had to tell him, dude, what are you doing? The play is happening. And of course, we seen what happened. He was the one that was supposed to knock the ball down or be in position.
Okay, so first, let's do this.
Okay.
Because that shows his lack of detail to time. Because to me, you never stop playing until that clock says 0, 0, 0. As long as I'm on the clock, you still got to play. I don't care what the score is. You still got to play till that clock hits 0, 0, 0, 0. So personally, I would have cut him because to me, that shows his lack of discipline and that shows his lack of detail. That's two things that you cannot have in the NFL, especially as a corner, because your job is predicated on what you see and how you're going to react to what you see and what's happening in front of you. So therefore, I would have cut him. He could find another job somewhere else because I'm glad that he took accountability for it. But in my opinion, I don't think that's enough because you literally cost your team the game. Not only did you not pay attention to the play, you also tipped the ball up in the air, which caused the guy to catch the ball. If you don't tip the ball in the air and smack it down like you're supposed to, we don't lose this game. But because you chatting with the fans, you're not paying attention to the play, and then you go and tip the ball, all three of those things are enough to let me know I don't need you on this team. I can do without you. So personally, I would have let him go. That's just my perspective because I don't need somebody on my team that's like that. I don't care how good you are. Unless you Deion Sanders good, I can let him. I can bypass that. But I don't think he's that good. Because if he was, we would hear about his name every week, like Sauce Gardner, like Stingley, like all of those guys. I've never heard this guy before, so I don't know if he's good or not. I'm just saying, I would have let him go.
You know what? I just came up with the idea looking at, I think, which would be, I know this is not a logo we chose. It's probably the streamer logo. If you look up to the left. So he would be the first duckhead of the week.
Facts. He would be.
What a duckhead.
Yes, he
so
would
he
be.
got a name one every week. He wins it hands down, unanimously.
Easily. There's no question about that one. So
before we go on to the next subject, what's worse? I don't know if you saw the game, a couple plays before, the series before. Did you see why Bears fumbled?
Who had the ball? Who fumbled the ball?
Bears had the ball, and instead of handing it off to a running back, they handed it off to a lineman, and he fumbled the ball.
So
That's how we got the ball back.
So did he fumble it into the end zone?
No, they was in the red zone though.
Okay.
But why are you giving it to a lineman? You have running backs on the team. So as soon as he got in his hands, it just fell out because it's not natural for him.
I didn't see that.
Okay.
I'm gonna go by what you said. So if you said that's what happened, then I agree with you. Why would you, especially were they inside of the 20?
Yeah, they was. If I'm not mistaken, they might have been inside the 5.
Yeah, because he fumbled it into the end zone or something, right? Or he fumbled it close to the end zone?
Close to the end zone.
Okay, yeah, I do agree with you. I don't, I would have been on the 1 yard line in order for me to do that. But if you were anything from 3 and back, no, I would not have given it to the lineman.
Yeah, I'm not calling that type of play.
Not in that situation.
Exactly.
But that's why we're not coaches, because we would have done the right thing. just saying. All right. Hold on. Before we go, let's recap this Dallas Cowboy stuff against the 49ers.
Oh, yeah. I almost forgot about that game.
It's real quick. We're just going to jump on it real quick. I don't want to hurt Blue feelings too much. Jump on it real quick. It was extremely quiet all last week. I heard nothing. Not a peep. Nothing. And it was so beautiful. So beautiful. That's all I'm going to say about it. It was just beautiful.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I'm going to talk about. It was just beautiful. Not to hear nothing on the timeline. Not to see nothing posted nowhere. We them boys, nothing. I heard absolutely nothing. And I loved it. I'm good. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. All right. So what are your thoughts of week 9? What games are you matter of fact, let me just do it like that. What games are you, what are you looking forward to in week 9?
As far as
your team, I would say your team.
My team? Sure. Well, if you go back to, if you remember the first game, we played them, literally neither team scored a touchdown. Every single point was field goal. It was like a match between the two field goals. Well, I think they lost their kicker.
Because I want to say he got hurt.
And I was at the game, and I don't even know what happened.
I think he got hurt in the game or before. Okay.
Excuse me. Yeah, and I know we literally signed the kicker that week, and his first day in the office kicked 7 field goals to win the game.
Wow.
We have definitely gotten better as a team since that game, and it looks like the Giants has regressed a little bit.
Little bit.
Something about Daniel Jones reminds me of Gomer Pyle. Like I just don't know what he be doing out there. I really don't.
This man said Gomer Pyle.
Mm-hmm. He'll look at his receiver open, but will throw it to the other team.
Okay, so on Monday night, I don't know if you was paying attention, but Troy Aikman had said something that he probably had so many turnovers is because he's literally waiting for the man to get open. He's not anticipating the throw to the receiver. And so he's not going to physically throw the ball until he sees the man wide open. And a lot of times that's what's causing him to have so many turnovers is because he's not anticipating the throws to the receiver, and he's waiting. And then once the receiver is open, he throws it. But the problem with that is if it's taking him that long to throw the ball, the reaction time from the DB or linebacker is that much better because he can just turn around. Oh, I see it coming now and go get it. And I think that's the biggest issue that he's having.
See, that makes me think of, I wish I could be in a quarterback room because a question that arose in my head. When a quarterback does that, does he truly know the offense? When I'm saying that is, does he actually know the route the receiver is running? And is that why he's not throwing in anticipation? Because if I know where you're going, I can throw to a spot because I know that's where you're going. So I just wonder if it's indicative. Does he truly know the offense?
I think he knows the offense. I think he's just not trusting the receivers to be where they're supposed to be at that time. I think that's what's causing him to hold on to the ball, because most quarterbacks throw an anticipation of where the receiver should be or going to. That's why you see most of the time the quarterbacks be upset when when the receiver, and he always go like, or he go like that, meaning like that was the move he should have made because I'm anticipating being in those spots. Now he's been in that system for a couple years now. So for him not to know the offense, that's like a, not saying against you, but that's like a cop out, because he should know that offense like the back pages, like anything, because he's been in for a while. I think he's either hesitant because of the coach, or he's hesitant because he doesn't trust himself or the receivers. It's something like that. It's something that's off with that whole situation, because most quarterbacks anticipate their receivers being in those spots. And if they're not there, then the issue is either on the quarterback or on the receiver, because you have a play design, and on those plays that's the design, the receivers are supposed to be in those spots. So if you call that play, the receiver's supposed to be right there in that particular spot. And if he's not there in that spot, either he messed up or something happened. But the ball should be there as soon as you call that play. I mean, as soon as you come out that huddle, that ball should be gone. But I don't know much. I just watch it.
Nah, that's some interesting points. And I'm gonna make it a point to look at, of course, our offense and him as he dropped back to pass. If I can kind of see what he's seeing. But knowing, again, I think I think we've moved out of that everyone's being cautiously optimistic phase to we're starting to believe. Because in years past, this would be a game I would be a little concerned about, but I think I'm beyond that. But they got it proven on the field for sure.
The best way the best way for you to view it is if the camera doesn't go. If the camera is behind the quarterback, if
right.
you can
vertical,
you can see what I'm talking about, and it'll make perfect, because you can. It's almost like playing Madden in a sense. You can see it. It's supposed to be. So if today I would watch Daniel Jones, and just to see if what I said is correct. I could be wrong, but I doubt it, because I would listen to Troy Aikman. He played the position for over how many years. But with us, unfortunately, we have a bye this week, so I'm loving it. I could just relax and watch other teams beat each other up, and we still number 2 in our division, so I'm good. But after our division, we'll talk about that later. But I'm good with that. So,
well, I got some questions about your team, but you want to wait till later?
Nah, we can address it. Let's go.
Well, what's the injury update on CMC?
He'll be back next week. Next one.
You sure?
Yes. No. So no. All jokes aside. So they say he had a good week of practice last week, but it's almost a situation where they're monitoring it this week. But they're saying he's projecting to play next week against the Bucks. So if he can make it through another week of practice, not necessarily healthy, but looking better, it's a possibility he'll play.
Is it tendonitis in both Achilles?
Both.
That scares me, man.
Very.
I didn't even really know you, King. Well, yeah, I have heard of tendonitis in the Achilles. It's just that fear of if one of them snap, that's a season ender automatically.
Yep.
And
I'm like,
usually my fault for cutting you off. Usually tendonitis is a sign of overusage. And what happens when something gets overused? It breaks down
easily. And I said that when we got them, we don't need to use them that much. You know, the biggest fear I have about that is when a running back, when they plant their feet backwards. I always think about that when they put their foot backwards and almost like to push off. That is the biggest fear I have in relation to that, because most of the time when you plant that back foot or plant either one of them and you push it into the ground, I always think about Kobe Bryant, like that. Just I just don't want to see it happen. But I don't know. I just don't want to see that happen to him.
Yeah. I mean, I've actually been through a torn Achilles, and I didn't pop it that way. It was strange. It it was the end of the first half, and we just trying to score before the half, basically running for a Hail Mary. And I went to jump for the ball. And like everyone says, your immediate reaction is you turn around with like, who the heck kicked me? And it immediately feels like a severe sprained ankle. But it wasn't no sprained ankle, but that's what it feels like. Yeah.
Deshaun was cooked. When I seen that little bone pop, I was like, he's done.
So I haven't even seen him play. Did he plant the foot like you said?
And you could just see it went like this. Boom. And you can
it goes back up into your calf or something like that.
I don't wish that on nobody. All right, let's get into I don't wish that on nobody. Ugh. What'd you think of the good games for today? Excuse me.
Let me peruse the.
I personally like this. Excuse me. This Dallas Atlanta matchup. I really like that one.
You know what? Like that's the first one that popped up on the schedule I was looking at, and I was going to say, if Dallas is worth anything, as far as any chances of salvaging their season, you have to beat Atlanta. Have to beat Atlanta, but I don't know. They have a lot of issues defensively in the run and pass defense. How say you?
I think they wouldn't be as bad if they wasn't missing as many people, but they missing a lot of players, and you can't be the Cowboys trash. You can't be missing that many players and still kind of be competitive. Even though you like next man up, it's just Michael Parsons makes that defense a whole lot better. Dexter Lawrence makes that defense a whole lot better. DaRon Bland makes that defense a whole lot better. And without those players, like those are significant players that you're missing. So did I expect us to beat them? Yes. Now, do I expect the Cowboys to win against the Falcons? Not if those players aren't there. I wouldn't expect it at all. Now, Dak could throw for 500-600 yards in that game. But if the defense can't stop anybody, it's like pointless. And Kurt is known to do some outrageous stuff. And that's why I wouldn't bet this game because you just don't know what you're gonna get from this game. But I think it's gonna be a good game.
And speaking of Kirk Cousins, like how did all of a sudden he become cool? He's doing the swag and the surf. He's wearing the turnover chains. I'm like, this is not the Kirk Cousins we had.
When you get accepted by Atlanta, it's a whole different ball game, Jack.
He look Atlanta.
Yeah, man. It's a whole different ball game. And so once the people embrace you, and because you gotta think they did the same for Matt Ryan when he was, as long as you win it in Atlanta, like they're gonna appreciate you. They're gonna show love to you. So I can see why he, embracing it because it makes sense. The other game that I thought would be pretty good, because Tua will be coming back tonight or today against Buffalo. I think that's gonna be a pretty good game. But outside of that,
yeah, I'm looking at the schedule.
The Green Bay Detroit game.
Where is that? Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's the next best game I'll be looking forward to. But after that, then it's not really a whole lot to be paying attention to. Like Minnesota and Indianapolis. But the Monday night game is going to be a telltale sign because Tampa is going to Kansas City. I'm really curious to see how Tampa is going to look, but they're not going to have their receivers, Mike Evans, and Godwin. Godwin is out for the season, so Mike Evans he's going to miss a couple of weeks from what I was told. So they're not going to have their complement of players that they could have to beat Kansas City, and because of it, I think Kansas City going to run away with this one.
Two sneaky good games that I think should not be overlooked. Denver at Baltimore and the Rams at Seattle.
Speak on it.
Denver is a lot better, which I found out this morning. I think they're top 10 defensively against the run and the pass. And Baltimore had issues with, again, Cleveland and missed the 30 for 30. And Denver, currently right now, to me, is better than Cleveland. Rams and Seattle, you said you're second in the division?
Yeah, so okay. So what happens in this game is if the Rams win, Seattle loses, I think we'll be it'll just be we'll be second in the division.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go down because we don't play this weekend. And so what'll happen is Seattle will go to the bottom because Seattle will be 4-5 and the Rams will be 4-4. So they will move up. But if Seattle wins, they'll be 5-4 and they'll go up depending on what Arizona does because we don't play this weekend. So they could potentially, if they win, they could take over the division, meaning Seattle. But if they lose, then they'll drop down to the bottom of the division.
Speaking of, because I think we asked ourselves this question in one of the previous shows, and it didn't stand out then because it could have been other teams. Right now, I think the most dangerous team in NFL is Detroit Lions.
Without question. To me, I think that's outside of Kansas City, I think that's the best team in the NFL.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm not that much of a hater. Like, if we can't get there, I would love to see Detroit win a Super Bowl because they never won one and they never even been.
Well, that's good then. They don't need to go now. Wait for one first, then you can have all that you want. But honestly, I think that the Bears the best team. Okay, just win today. I think their time is coming. It's a matter of time before they get that trophy hung up. Especially the way he have them playing. Like they hung up 52 on somebody, and they could have probably scored more than that with ease. They out there running trick plays with the linemen. Like, dude, if you playing like this, like this dude out here playing Tecmo Bowl, not Madden, he's playing Tecmo Bowl, and it's like, they gonna be a problem.
Well, I don't know about you. I believe in sports karma. So remember last Thanksgiving when Dak Prescott started eating turkey legs against us during the game? Game wasn't over because they was blowing us out that bad. I was there. I was a witness in the stands. I'm getting ready to leave. Dallas fans, trying to be cool. Where you going? Stay for a while. All this is nothing I can say, but I simply said, your time is coming. And a year later, first it was Detroit. We coming. And we haven't played Dallas yet. We are coming.
Hold on. Let me ask you this question. So since that playoff game last year against the Packers, how many home games have they won?
Without looking at the top of my head, I'm not sure if they won any.
Hold on.
I don't think they won any home games.
Oh, shoot. I didn't expect that. All right, hold on. So they lost it at home. They lost to the Ravens at home.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to the Lions at home. Yeah, they haven't. They beat the Browns on the road. They beat the Giants on the road. And they beat the Steelers on the road. And they lost all their home games. Wow.
And speaking of Steelers, I'm not sure where to put them right now.
As far as
it's with them, it seems like it feels like I got to see more.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not ready to fall in love with the Steelers just yet, like everybody else is. Oh my God. Yeah, all right. You can have that. I'm not trying. It's rough. Seen this movie play out one too many times.
Right.
So you can have that if you want it. So what you think are the bad games for this week?
Bad games.
That shit.
We're not gonna call them bad games. Games that is really not meaningful. How about that?
Okay, we can go with that.
Let's start with New England and Tennessee. New England is 2-6. Tennessee is 1-6. I believe the only people that care about them that game is family and fans of those two teams.
Yeah.
Agree?
Agreed.
I gotta do it to my nephews. New Orleans at Carolina. They are combined 3-13. This is a family and friend game.
Yo, but somebody got to win the game. That's the thing. Somebody got to win the game. I don't know who it's going to be, but somebody got to win this game.
And what's bad, Carolina is at home, and New Orleans is favored by 7. Like, how bad can it get?
Well, the ticket's only $2, so
yeah, and it might include a bag of popcorn and a soda.
And unlimited drinks.
Combo pack. $2 combo pack.
Oh shoot. Free mimosas.
Oh man.
All right. That was about it. All right, so let's switch the topics over to the NBA so far.
Yes, sir.
What? Oh no, we had one more. This was the last one. Can the Jets make their way back up to the top? I know how you feel about them, so
absolutely not. I just not a believer. They beat a team that was short-handed the other day. Short-handed, and I knew the next morning it was going to be all this praise and glaze over the Jets. They about to make a run, this, that, and the third. And when they lost the week before, I'm sitting there watching Mr. Aaron Rodgers talk about we could get ready to go on a run. I'm like, dude, be quiet. You're like 2-20. Make a run where? To the store and back?
Hold on. Before you finish that, right? I try not to doubt the dude. I really do. But
I'm a doubter, but go ahead.
It's possible, right? Because next week they play Arizona. Now, I don't know how good you feel about Arizona, but personally, I'm not convinced with Arizona. As long as Kyler Murray is the quarterback. They had that flash in the pan time, but other than that, I'm not really convinced with Arizona. I feel like he said get on the Percocets. I think
he said what?
He said as long as Aaron Rodgers get back on the Percocets. I'm serious. I think they could do it if they can beat the Cardinals, which I think they can do.
Let me look at their remaining schedule.
I'm telling you.
Let me see here.
The dude, he always bring it up, and just think, as long as Garrett Wilson is not hurt, and you still got Devontae Adams, you still got Mike Williams, and you still got a decent running game. They don't have to be great, just decent. Yo, that offense is pretty potent. That's why I said I believe it can happen because they got a pretty good offense.
You know what? Okay, Arizona, Indianapolis, Seattle, Miami, Jacksonville, Rams. Those are winnable.
That's my point. As much as
here's the problem. They're already in a hole.
Correct.
Here's the problem what may happen. Say if they win those all in a row, your last 2 games are against Buffalo and Miami, which could be a win and in or out.
So
They're not better than Buffalo.
No, I know. Just out of curiosity, what is their division record
Right now?
right now?
Let's see. They are, wow, they're second in the division, which is crazy to me.
Okay. So again, how many games back are they in the division?
4.
They can't be 4 games back in the division.
They're 3-6. Buffalo is 6-2.
No. I'm saying in the division. In their division, AFC East.
Oh, you know what? My mistake. They are, I guess this would be 2 games back. Because Buffalo is 2-0, they're 1-2.
Okay,
in the division.
Right. So again, all you have to do is win your division, and you in the playoffs. So it don't matter what their record ends up being. If they can win their division, they're gonna automatically be in. Now they're gonna need Buffalo to lose a couple games in the division, which I don't think they're gonna lose against New England. They might drop one against Miami.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say it's a lot of, moving parts here. Buffalo got to lose.
Yeah, they got to lose at least 2 in order for the Jets to be. But I don't know if they can lose to New England. They could probably lose to Miami, but I don't know if they can lose to I don't think they can lose to New England. So that's the only thing is you just got to win your division. You win your division, you automatically in. So that's why I say it's possible.
And again, I don't wish injuries on anybody. If Buffalo has some fluke injury,
exactly,
to major players, like things happen. But I'm still not a believer.
I know you wouldn't be. All right. So the NBA season has started. We are like 2 weeks in almost. So what are your thoughts on the team so far? Do you like certain teams? Do you dislike certain teams so far?
Let's go with what are some surprising results, and I'll give one of mine. How bad Milwaukee is struggling.
Why? Who's the coach?
I knew you was going to say that. Nah, it's not on Doc Rivers this time. Not on Doc Rivers this time.
Hold on. Did you watch the game last night? Because I watched the game last night. That was a good game between Milwaukee and Cleveland. That was a really good game. But go ahead.
Their defense is a problem. Again, I tried to explain this to some people. There was so much excitement. Oh, it's gonna be Greek and Dame. They're gonna be unstoppable. This, that, and the third. I'm sitting there looking, okay, yeah, that's a lot of offense, but who are they gonna guard? Has Dame made any all defensive teams? First, second, or third? Is there a third that they name?
I don't think he's ever made all defensive team. I don't think that's his thing. So I can't feel like.
And I'm not putting just all on him. Does Middleton lock down anybody?
Well, Middleton hurts still, so it doesn't really
matter.
He
plays.
No, that's not his thing. That's not his thing.
I think he just lock up his locker before the game, and that's it.
We're gonna be paid today, I see.
Again, Milwaukee's defense is a major problem. And what are they now? 1-6? 2-6?
1-5 or 1-6, one of the two.
So that's my surprising result as of right now. What's yours?
Golden State being 5-1 or 6-1.
Why so?
Because most people didn't think that they was gonna be this good without Clay, and the pickup of Buddy Hield has been extremely helpful. And I
absolutely
feel if they can keep it the way they are, but I feel like because we were talking about this yesterday, I feel like they're missing one player. They need one more player. Now, whoever that player is, I don't know, but I feel like they need one more player. And the word on the street was they might trade for Jimmy Butler. Now, the thing is, what you gonna give up to get Jimmy Butler is the question. If I don't have to give up,
they don't need Jimmy Butler.
Okay, so
No, and I'm not saying because of his talent and his skill level, and he don't. That's just he's not a good locker room fit.
So okay, so if you're Golden State, who would you trade for at this point in time to make your team better?
And plus, I don't think they need another two guard. And you're basically basically a team of two guards. You need another. I think they need another big man with some size for rebounding and protecting the basket a little bit more. Because the reason why I say this, some of the better teams in the West have size.
Right.
OKC, even though Denver's struggling right now, they have size. Lakers have size. You're going to need some size.
I don't know. I think that Rudy Gobert. Not Mr. Dunk on. But I don't know. It depends on what Golden State would have to give up to get Jimmy Butler. I don't foresee him hurting the team. I think he can help more than he can hurt him. I think he'll be a team player because he's gonna want to win a championship, and he's gonna do whatever it's gonna take for them to win that championship. Now the question would be, I don't know how him and Steph would like coexist together. That would be the question, because Jimmy is an alpha, and I don't know if him and Steph will clash a lot or what. I don't know.
What about him and Draymond?
I'm waiting for that fight. I'm all in for that one because I'm waiting to see that one. That's going to happen. So I would be willing to wait for that one.
Jimmy Butler and Draymond in the same practice.
I'm waiting for it. I think it would be fantastic. The other team who I have as a surprise is Cleveland Cavaliers at 7-0. They pulled out another one last night. So that was my biggest surprise of the season so far has been Cleveland. I think they would struggle more so this year, but they came out the gate. They firing on all cylinders. So I got to give it to Cleveland as one of the better teams or more surprises. The teams that I'm disappointed with so far has been Denver. I thought they would be playing a lot better than what they're playing. And also, who was the other team?
I want to see if you say the team that I'm thinking of right now.
But I was going to say Philly, but I can't really say Philly because they don't have Joel Embiid or Paul George playing right now. So because of that, it's kind of hard for me to put them in that situation. So
I'm gonna give you a hint about this team I'm thinking of. How can you be a point guard and play 41 minutes and have 1 assist?
Tyrese Halliburton?
Nope. He's such a willing passer. I can't ever see that happening with him.
Tyrese Maxey?
Nope. And this guard jacks him up. He definitely jacks up the shots. But
yeah.
Nope. West Coast team.
Point guard.
And they're struggling a bit. Yes. See, I threw you off with hitting you with that stat.
De'Aaron Fox?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah. Green do got to go. Yeah, De'Aaron Fox. I did not expect that.
I mean, did losing Harrison Barnes make that much of a factor? Because I'm big on chemistry. You can't just be removing and adding players. They are struggling 3-3.
Yeah, that shouldn't. But you essentially got. I would think you got better with DeMar DeRozan. But I wonder if he's turning more into a scoring point guard, more so than a passing point guard because of DeMar there. That's what I'm curious to know.
He's averaging basically 6 assists.
Oh, what's wrong with that?
Okay, 1 assist in 41 minutes. I don't know how to. Dude, you could just run into an assist.
Yeah, but I think that's pretty good though. 6 assists.
No, that is good. I'm just speaking on terms of last night.
Oh,
That stat line is crazy.
okay, got you. Okay, I thought you were talking about for the season. I'm like, well, okay, now it makes sense. I got you. All right. So last night, who did they play? They played Thunder, Warriors, Nuggets, Timberwolves. They played the Raptors.
Right.
Okay.
And I actually threw that stat out there for a lot of these bettors out here. Because
yeah,
they'll be like, he's banned from my parlay.
yeah, I could. Yeah, that he should never not finish with no less than 4 assists any night.
Yeah, it's just because if I was Batman putting something on him, I would at least have him for 5 assists.
But he wound up having 5 steals though,
which is good. He does get a lot of steals anyway, even going back to college.
Yeah. So, but the bad part is he had 5 turnovers. So those 5 steals kind of nullified those 5 turnovers. So it's like, yeah.
And his assist to turnover ratio is a 1-5. That's not good.
Not at all. So yeah, I can see that. Yeah, but I am surprised that they're struggling this much. I thought they would be a little bit better than what they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's still early in the season, but I do want to know, like, based upon what you've seen thus far, do you think it's time for teams to start getting ready to pull the trade button?
When is the trade deadline?
Oh, you got some time. I'm just saying, like, do you think there's a team that should be like monitoring people so they can get ready to make a trade?
I think it's too early, but the one rumor I'm hearing is, and it's from some reputable sources, that the Greek might move.
Yeah, I've been hearing that too. And we were talking about that yesterday, and we were saying, what if he goes to Golden State? Would that be a good place for him to go?
Yeah. Because he will be a dominant force in the paint, surrounded by shooters everywhere.
Oh, he said,
and he plays defense.
Okay.
And he's a willing passer. He's not a black hole. You get a ball to him and never see it again.
I think that would be the perfect place for him to go.
Yep.
Shooters and Buddy Hield and Steph. You got quality defense in Draymond and Jackson Davis Price, Looney, Gary Payton II. So I think I think that'd be, if they can pull it off, I think that'd be the best place for him to go right now. But the only problem is I don't know how him and Steph will coexist with one another. That's the only thing, because the chemistry between Draymond and Steph is there already. So you have to worry about fitting him into their chemistry. That's the only thing about anytime you have a trade, is like you had to fit that new piece into the old chemistry of the team.
I think if Steph was younger, it might have been an issue. I think he's at the point in his career where he wants to win more titles. And I believe he would make the adjustments necessary.
Yeah. Because I know with this for a fact, the longer they keep losing, the more that name gonna keep popping up to be traded.
Yep.
And I feel bad for Dame, because Dame didn't want to leave Portland to go to Milwaukee. He wanted to go to Miami. But if they wind up trading him, he right back in the same boat he was at when he was in Portland.
Unless they find a third team and become part of the trade and send Dame to somewhere where he'll at least have another shot at winning.
Send him to Miami where he wanted to go from the jump. All right. So you think the Sixers should do anything with Joel Embiid in his comments about the reporter?
I read the reporter's comments this morning, and let me put it this way. In context, I didn't have an issue with what the reporter actually said, but I understand why Joel Embiid has an issue with, because he could have made the comments without even including his son in the comments.
What were the comments? I didn't see the article.
It was basically, I'm gonna try to summarize it from memory. Basically, the reporter was saying he was quoting Embiid at some point, saying he's more dedicated to the game, so to speak, because I didn't even know Joel Embiid had a son that he had lost in a. Don't quote me on this. I think he lost his son in a car accident or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I don't even remember hearing about this, but I know his son passed on. And the reporter basically said, "You make all these declarative dedication statements, but you're actually the opposite. You show up constantly not in shape. You miss a whole bunch of games. So this, that, and the third. Without reading in context, it was a lot of truth in those statements, but he could have said all those things without even mentioning his son. So that's why Embiid approached him.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Basically, why you
Mentioning my son in this article.
right? Exactly. You can come at me and attack my dedication to the game, this and third, but leave my family out of it. So
Yeah, that's wild.
yeah,
You can't bring like this. This is a basketball game. You know what I'm saying? Like this, all this is a game.
right.
Whether I want to curtail, I mean not curtail. However you want to describe my play or describe me as a player is fine. But you in any part of my family onto this platform about why I'm not playing a certain way, because personally that has nothing to do with this. Like you bringing in a whole different realm of people who don't need to be included into this because they're
Right.
not protect themselves per se. You're throwing it at me with the intent of getting me frustrated or riled up, but because these people aren't here to say anything back, I'm gonna take offense to that as a person. Like who wouldn't? Especially when
Right.
you out about certain things, but you don't know what I'm going through. Just like last week, one of our cornerbacks, his daughter had passed. So come to find out, she'd been sick for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't been playing well, but nobody knows that. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
we just see his bad play on the field, and everybody like, oh, he's not playing well, blah blah blah. But now you know why he's not playing well. He was dealing with the fact that his daughter could pass away at any time, and unfortunately, she might not pass it. So you don't know what people are dealing with outside of their sport. You know what I'm saying? That's the game. They still have to live their lives, and so I feel like you shouldn't, as a reporter, you shouldn't certain things you shouldn't talk about if you don't know the full details and the full scope of, because when you do that, you don't know how you're going to hurt this person.
Absolutely.
And so I could kind of understand why he was on that. All right. So
You know what? I was looking at the wrong chat. People were posting.
this guy, he on that.
I was looking at the private chat.
This guy here, man. All right, Bubba, that's it. We finished. Unless there's something else you want to get off your chest.
I had something. It was just on the tip of my tongue.
Let's go.
Now it was about
JT for MVP.
said, "Let's go Celtics." It was two things actually.
Okay.
I thought it was quite comical that going back to Embiid, that he made the comments of he's done so much for the city of Philadelphia. I'm assuming he meant basketball wise. Now, if he's talking about off the court, work in the community, charitable donations, this, that, and the third, okay, that's a legitimate statement. But to say if he's talking about so much on the court, I just thought that was quite funny to me. Because my issue with him, he has shown up out of shape, which to me has probably contributed to so many injuries. If you can't start, how you going to finish? The season has started. with 3 weeks in, he hasn't played yet. He played in the Olympics. So I'm trying to figure out, when did he hurt his knee? We all talking about.
The only thing I could think of is that he was hurt and he just wanted to play in the Olympics. That's the only thing I could think of.
And you know that gets under my skin because he shouldn't even been on the USA team.
But what other big man did we have?
I'm just a believer. You play for the country you were born in. It's not that hard.
Think about it though. What other big man did we have? We didn't really have another big man like him.
Okay, so dude, next Olympics, you gonna go play for China?
He could.
I'm talking about you. Taiwan.
Yo, all I'm saying is, I get it. I'm not agreeing with it. I get it. But as far as with him saying he's done more for Philly, I wholeheartedly agree with what you just said.
Okay, this is the other thing I wanted to bring up, and then we can close out the show. I love Anthony Edwards' enthusiasm, energy, and life he brings to the game.
What about his baby mothers?
Let me repeat myself. I love the energy and enthusiasm and the life he brings to the game. With that being said, I think he needs to learn how to pace himself. And the reason I say this is if you go back to the playoffs where they lost, he had a lot of bad shooting nights, which to me is an indication of no legs. So I'm watching him now, and as the season started, he's hooping and hollering, beating on his chest in the first quarter. You scoring 24, 26 in the first quarter. You only end up with 37. Like, okay, brother, pace yourself.
Yeah.
Pace yourself.
Yeah.
Because I saw you gas out when the playoffs got here. And I think he's shooting too many threes. And I saw his comment. I think a reporter asked him, "What do you say to people that says you shoot too many threes?" He said, "F them." I said, okay, this young man is extremely hard-headed, but he'll learn eventually.
I think the unless the game changes back to old school style, it's gonna be like this.
Yep.
And Cat's gonna be pulling threes, and that's just the way the game is going right now. So until somebody decides that, hey, let's get the big men involved, let's go back down to the post. It ain't the game ain't going back to that lifestyle. That's just the way that it is, and it's unfortunate. Sean said, AD said he gonna get defensive player of the year. Nah, that ain't gonna happen.
Nah.
We played.
He trying to get offensive player of the year.
Now, unless he played Rudy Gobert every night, yeah, he could get defensive player of the year easily. But he don't play him every night. So that's why I don't think he's gonna win the award. He could definitely, like right now, he's leading the league in scoring, which I get it. But I want to know how long he can be able to keep that up.
I'm telling you, if he does not pace himself, he will be gassed out when the playoffs get here. Because he's one of them. And this is the one thing I do admire him. I'm gonna play all 82, and I get that.
Who, Anthony Edwards?
Mm-hmm.
Or Anthony Davis?
Edwards.
Okay, I'm talking about Anthony Davis.
Dude, the whole time, probably because they got the first name Anthony. I'm still thinking we talk about Edwards. Okay, Anthony Davis could get defensive player of the year. I agree with that. I know.
Okay. All right. So I was saying he could get offensive player of the year. Because right now he's averaging almost 32 points a game and 12 rebounds. That's why I was saying he could get the offensive player of the year, but I don't know about defensive player of the year.
I don't think that would last. Him averaging his main points.
Okay. That's he could get offensive player of the year.
Dude, as a sidebar, completely off subject, I just happened to look to the right and they showed Jay Names warming up with a basketball. Yeah, he was shooting a basketball. It's probably has something to do with probably warming up his elbow for throwing.
Oh, okay.
But I've never seen that before.
I've never either. All right, then, brother. That's it. We out of here.
And Taps is the next spot.
Yes, sir. Catch us at Taps live streaming at 1:00 p.m.
the fifth hour.
Most definitely.